paint you a picture. It is Monday morning. Your leadership team just rolled out a shiny new AI-powered performance management tool. The deck was gorgeous. The vendor promised objectivity, efficiency, bias reduction, and probably world peace by Q4. And then you walk onto the floor, and the temperature in the room drops about 15 degrees. Your best performer pulls you aside and asks, very quietly, "So, is the algorithm watching me all day now?" Your middle manager wants to know if AI is going to decide who gets promoted. And somebody in operations is convinced the system is going to flag them for taking too many bathroom breaks. Welcome to the AI trust crisis. It is real. It is happening in organizations right now. And if you do not know how to lead through it, your beautiful AI rollout is going to become the most expensive engagement killer you have ever funded. Welcome back to Unlock, Empower, Transform. I am your host, Shay Blackmon, founder and CEO of Shay Blackmon Consulting, author of High Value Leadership, and a DBA candidate in organizational leadership, which, by the way, means I am in the trenches of this exact research right now. Lucky you. This is episode 71, and if you are a leader rolling out AI tools, evaluating AI tools, or quietly panicking because your executive team just mandated AI tools without consulting anybody who actually touches people, this one is for you. We are going to talk about what AI trust actually means, why your employees are reacting the way they are, and how you build the kind of confidence that lets AI live up to its potential without destroying your culture. Grab your notebook, let us get into it. So first, let us get honest about what your employees are actually afraid of. Because when they push back on AI, they are not being Luddites. They are not being difficult. They are responding to something real. And if you dismiss it, you just told them you are not a safe leader. There are 4 fears running underneath every AI rollout conversation. Let me name them. Fear 1, surveillance. Your employees think that AI is watching them, not in the fun sci-fi way, in the my every keystroke is being scored way. And the wild part is, in some organizations, that fear is not even paranoid. It is accurate. So when your team asks what the tool measures, the first thing they are really asking is, how much of my day is being converted into a data point I did not consent to? Fear 2, replacement. They are not asking if AI will take their job out loud. They are asking it in the pit of their stomach at 2 a.m. And every vendor demo that brags about efficiency gains translates in an employee's mind to fewer humans needed. That is just the math they are doing, whether you acknowledge it or not. Fear 3, bias dressed up as objectivity. This one is the quietest and the most dangerous. Your employees, especially the ones who have had to fight their way into their roles, know something executives often miss. Algorithms are built by people, trained on data generated by people, reflecting the patterns of people, which means objective AI can quietly encode the exact biases it was marketed to eliminate. And the people who have been on the wrong end of biased systems their whole careers can smell this from a mile away. Fear 4, loss of recourse. If a human manager makes a bad call, you can appeal it. You can have a conversation. You can bring context. If an algorithm makes a call, who do you argue with? The dashboard? Your employees are terrified of a system where the answer to why is the model said so. Now, across my career in manufacturing, automotive, nonprofit, healthcare, quick service, and professional services, I can tell you these 4 fears show up in every workforce at every level across every industry. The accents are different, the fear is the same. So when your team greets your AI rollout with crossed arms and half a smile, they are not resisting progress. They are asking whether you are going to protect them inside the progress. And your answer to that question is the whole ballgame. The good news is that every one of those fears is addressable, but not with a town hall, not with an FAQ document that nobody reads, not with a "don't worry, we've got this" reassurance from leadership. You address them with transparency, real transparency, the kind that makes some executives uncomfortable, which is usually how you know it is working. Here is what real AI transparency looks like in a people-focused rollout. 1. You publish what the tool actually measures, in plain English, not vendor brochure language. If the AI is scanning engagement survey text, say so. If it is pulling from attendance data, say so. If it is analyzing tone in written communication, absolutely say so. Your employees deserve to know what data about them is being processed and what it is being processed for. 2. You publish what the tool does not do. This is the part most organizations skip, and it is honestly the most trust-building move you can make. Name the limits. This tool does not make hiring decisions. This tool does not determine promotions. This tool does not assign performance ratings. A human does, using this as one input among several. That sentence alone can lower the temperature of a room by about 40 degrees. 3. You publish who the humans are. Every algorithmic output in a people decision should route to a named human, a person with a title, a phone number, and the authority to override the algorithm. Employees need to know that when something does not feel right, there is a door to knock on, and the person behind that door is empowered to actually do something. 4. You publish the appeal process. Before you roll out the tool, not after the first bad call. The process should be clear, documented, and easy to use. If employees cannot appeal an AI-influenced decision in under 3 steps, you do not have a process. You have a complaint department with a fancy logo. There was an organization, for example, that rolled out an AI screening tool for internal mobility applications. Great concept, terrible execution. No one explained what the tool evaluated, no appeal process, and no named human to escalate to. Within 6 months, internal application rates dropped by more than half because employees assumed the algorithm was screening them out based on criteria they could neither see nor challenge. The tool did not fail, the transparency did. In the high-value leadership framework, I talk about authentic connection as one of the 5 pillars. Authentic connection cannot coexist with opacity. If your people cannot see into the systems that affect their careers, you have not built a connection. You have built a wall with a smiley face painted on it. Now let us talk about the principle that should be non-negotiable in every AI-informed people decision you make. AI insights inform. Human judgment decides. And that line does not move. I cannot say this loudly enough. Any leader who lets an algorithm make the final call on hiring, firing, promoting, disciplining, or evaluating a human being has outsourced the one part of leadership that cannot be outsourced. Because leadership is not a math problem. It is a human problem with math as one of the inputs, not the whole equation. Here is what the human-in-the-loop principle looks like in practice. AI flags patterns. Humans interpret context. The algorithm might notice that an employee's productivity dropped last quarter. A human knows she was caring for a sick parent. Guess which one should be weighted more heavily in the conversation? AI provides options. Humans make choices. The algorithm might surface 3 candidates for a stretch assignment. A human decides who is ready, who needs development, and who is being overlooked because the algorithm was trained on patterns that do not capture potential. AI measures outputs. Humans measure meaning. The algorithm might report that a team completed 95% of its deliverables. A human knows the team was running on fumes, and 2 people are about to quit. Only one of those observations leads to good leadership. There was a healthcare organization, for example, that used an AI tool to flag high turnover risk employees. Good idea on paper. The problem was that the output was being sent to managers without training, without context, and without a framework for what to do with it. Some managers started avoiding the flagged employees. Others had awkward, invasive conversations. A few doubled down on developmental attention and actually saved the relationships. The same AI output produced three wildly different human responses. The algorithm was not the variable, the leadership capacity was. In my current HR work in manufacturing, I will tell you, the conversations I am most careful about are exactly these. AI can help me see patterns I would otherwise miss. AI cannot help me sit across from a human being and make a judgment call about their career. That is my job. And honestly, that is the job worth having. Let us talk ethics, because every organization loves to wave around an AI ethics statement without ever doing the work of building an ethical practice. So here is a framework you can actually use. 5 questions. Run every AI-informed people decision through them before deployment, not after. Question 1. Consent. Did employees know this data would be used this way when they generated it? If you are analyzing communication patterns from emails employees wrote before the AI tool existed, that is a consent problem. Retroactive consent is not consent, it is documentation. Question 2. Accuracy. Has this tool been audited for bias in your specific workforce context? Vendor assurances do not count. External audits, pilot data, and ongoing monitoring are what count. If the tool has not been audited on a population that looks like yours, you are the audit. Question 3. Proportionality. Is the invasiveness of the tool proportional to the decision it supports? Using AI to suggest learning content is low stakes. Using AI to rank people for layoffs is high stakes. The data footprint and the governance should match the weight of the decision. Question 4. Recourse. Is there a documented, accessible, low-friction way for employees to challenge an outcome influenced by this tool? If your appeal process requires a law degree and a lot of persistence, you do not have one. Question 5. Sunset. Do you have a plan to retire or replace this tool if it stops serving your values? AI tools are not monuments, they are instruments, and sometimes the instrument goes out of tune. Your governance plan should include how and when you stop using something, not just how you start. If you cannot answer those 5 questions with confidence for every AI tool touching your people, you do not have an ethics framework. You have a logo. All right, we are making this practical. Pull out your notebook or your notes app. This is 5 minutes and it is going to tell you exactly where your organization stands on AI trust today. No fluff. This is what I call the AI trust audit. 5 quick prompts. Prompt 1. Name every AI tool currently in use that touches a people decision. Hiring, screening, performance, engagement, learning, scheduling, communication analysis, wellness monitoring, anything. Write them down. Prompt 2. For each tool, answer yes or no. Can every employee affected by this tool clearly articulate what it does? Be honest, not what the tool's documentation says, what your actual employees could say out loud in a hallway conversation. Prompt 3. For each tool, answer yes or no. Is there a named human with authority who owns decisions informed by this tool? Not a department, not a committee, a person. Prompt 4. For each tool, answer yes or no. Is there a documented appeal process an employee could use in under 3 steps? If you are not sure, the answer is no. Prompt 5. Count your no answers. Every no is a trust gap. Every trust gap is a future crisis. Pick the top 2 gaps and put a 30-day plan next to each one. Not a 90-day plan, 30. Because if you found a no today, your employees found it 6 months ago and the clock has been ticking. Run this audit quarterly or anytime your organization adopts a new tool. I promise you, the leaders who do this consistently make dramatically better decisions about AI adoption, and they build the kind of trust that actually compounds. Before I close, let me connect this to something personal. Because leading through AI ambiguity is not just an organizational challenge, it is a personal resilience challenge. Especially for the professional women listening who are often the ones being asked to roll out tools they did not design, defend systems they did not build, and absorb the emotional labor of a workforce that is scared. That is exactly why the SHIELD Resilience Strategy Guide exists. SHIELD stands for self awareness, healthy coping, internal resources, external support, learning orientation, and daily practices. Inside the guide, you will find tools that are built for this moment. The trigger log for recognizing the patterns that light you up when a rollout goes sideways. The strategic pause technique for the conversation where somebody asks you a question about the AI tool and you do not have the answer yet. The after action review for pulling real learning out of the implementation that did not go the way you hoped. And the daily practices that keep your own nervous system steady while you are carrying the trust of an entire team. You cannot lead through an AI trust crisis if your own tank is empty. The guide is free. The link is in the show notes. Go get it. Here's what I want you to carry with you. AI is not neutral. It is not objective. It is not magic. It is a tool, and tools take on the character of the hands that wield them. Your job as a leader is not to stop AI adoption. That ship has sailed. Your job is to make sure that when AI touches your people, it touches them through a framework of transparency, human judgment, and ethical governance that preserves their dignity and your culture. That is leadership. And frankly, that is the leadership your team is begging for right now. If this episode hit home, do 3 things for me. First, drop a comment and tell me, what is the AI tool your organization rolled out that made you quietly question everything? I want to hear it, the real answer, not the LinkedIn answer. Second, download the SHIELD Resilience Strategy Guide. Link is in the show notes. It is free, and it is going to give you the tools to lead yourself through high-stakes change without losing yourself in the process. Third, if what we are building here is resonating, my book, High Value Leadership, goes deeper into the 5 pillars, including authentic connection and stewardship of culture, which are the exact foundations that make ethical AI leadership possible. And enrollment is opening soon for the High Value Leadership Intensive, where we take all of this from theory into your actual organization. The waitlist link is in the show notes. On Tuesday, we are tackling something every leader thinks they already know how to do until the performance conversation goes sideways. Episode 72, Manager as Coach, Developing Your Team Without a Coaching Certification. Because coaching is not a certificate on the wall. It is a skill set you build. And most of your managers are one good framework away from transforming how their teams actually grow. You will not want to miss it. Until then, lead with transparency, lead with judgment, lead with ethics, and lead like the human being in the loop that your team actually needs you to be. This is Shay Blackmon. Unlock, empower, transform.